Hi, this is Jordan Teen 1, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make a new evergreen tree or Christmas tree bracelet. And here is what it looks like. It's the same concept as the emblem bracelet that I had posted the other day, but with this one there are only 6 bands in the center instead of 8, and you can see that I did brown in between to look like the trunk of the tree. Now with the one I'm going to be showing you today, I'm actually going to add yellow at the top to make it look like the star, and then the brown for the next one like the trunk. And I actually made a Christmas tree bracelet last year. I'll show you what that one looked like. So it's a similar concept, but you can see that the look of it is different because with this one it was more just like a fishtail look where the band started out wider and then just narrowed. And this one's got different looping to it. So you can make it on either the monster tail loom or the full-size rainbow loom. I'm going to be doing it on the rainbow loom, but if you're using the monster tail, you would just use 5 pins in a row here. So you would want the bottom and the top and then the 3 pins on the one side. So on the rainbow loom, we're going to be working with just 1 row of pins. I'm going to be using the row on the right, and it's going to be 5 pins in a straight line. So it doesn't really matter how you have your loom set up. You can even remove these 2 rows of pins if you'd like. For my colors, I have this metallic yellowish gold color, and there's 6 of these because I'm going to fit 6 trees on one bracelet. You may need to do more or less depending on the size of your wrist, but I have 6 of these, and then I have 3 different colors I'm going to use for the trees. So I have this dark green, red, and white, and so I have 28 of each of these bands because I'm going to be doing 2 trees of each color, and then for the brown I also have 14 of those bands. I'm going to start with my first color, which is green, and I'm going to go to the 3rd pin up on this right hand row, and that band is going to be placed from the 3rd pin up to the 4th, and there's no twisting involved. And now I want to take another green and place that from the 4th pin up to the 5th. So this is the bottom of the tree, and this 5th pin is actually the center. So it's important when you're laying these bands that they're going from the outside in. So I went from the bottom into the middle, and now I have to go from the top down to the bottom. So this next band is going to be placed from the 7th pin down to the 6th, and then another green is going from the 6th down to the 5th. So as I said, this is the center, and you always want to start on the outsides and work in. Now I'm going to take another green band that's going to be my cap band in the middle. So I'm going to place it on my hook, twist, and put it back on. So you'll see the 2 bands, and it's just going to sit right in the middle there. And now I want to loop these bands back on themselves. So I'm going to be reaching down through this cap band, grabbing this next band in line, and the top one's going to be moving up. So I'm just pushing back, grabbing this top rubber band. You can hold this cap band in place so it doesn't come off, and that's just going to go up. Now I'm going to take this next band and again move it up, so I'm reaching down inside and moving that forward. Now I want to go back down through the center band and grab this lower band, and these are going to move down. Now these are going to be a little bit more difficult to grab because you can see that they're wrapped around the back side of the pin, so you can't just reach in and grab it from the front. So you're going to be reaching your hook down through and pushing back on the cap band, but now you have to take your hook sort of out to the side and get this band hooked, and now you're able to release it from that pin and move it down. And now the same thing again, you're going down through these 2 bands, and you're having to reach your hook more out to the side, hook it, and then move it down. And so now I'm going to remove these rubber bands, the ones that are in the center here, the 3 center pins. So you can either take it off from the right side so that it grows down through the left, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter which way. So I'm actually going to take it off from the left side and move it to the outside of the loom. I'm going to remove these bands here. And now I want to put my next layer on. I'm going to start at the bottom here and work my way up. And now from the top I'm going to come down. And now what I need to do is get this cap band to go back on the center pin. So if you look here, you can see this cap band in the middle. I want to make sure that my hook goes right in the center there, and I'm grabbing the two bands that are on the left side here, and I'm just going to slide that right back on. And now I'm able to do the looping. Let me show you it from this side. So I'm just going down in the center. This is the easy side to do. And now I'm going back down through the middle, and this is the part where I have to reach my hook more out to the side and grab. And these are coming down. You can see this one started to come off, but that's okay. And so now what I'm going to do is release these 3 center pins again, the bands from these pins. And on the ends here I have 4 rubber bands now, so I just want to remove the bottom 2 from each of these sides, taking them both at once and push down. Now I have one more layer to do, so again I'll work from the outsides in. Now from the top down. And I need to get this cap band back on. So again, you can see here how it's laying. I want to reach my hook down through the middle, and I want to make sure it's this left side, the side that's against the loom, that slides back on. And now I'll do the looping. And here's the bottom half. I'm going to release these bands from the 3 center pins, and then on the bottom I have 2, and on the top I have the bottom 2 to come off and push down. And so now I'm going to place a yellow rubber band. It's going to go from the bottom all the way to the top, so it is going to be a long stretch. And I'm going to make it go to the right hand side here, go around these pins in the middle. And now I can remove these bottom 2 green. It's just going to slide right in. And then on the top here as well. And you can see it slid all the way over here, but that's okay. You just want to get it back in the middle. And now I'm ready to do the brown rubber bands for the trunk. So they're going to go on the same way here. They're going to stretch from this bottom pin all the way to the top. I am going to be taking 2 at once just to make it look thicker. It's definitely a long stretch here. And now I want to remove this bottom yellow band from each of the sides. Looks like my brown got a little bit below the yellow, so I'm just going to fix that. Make sure the brown stays on top there. Now I can take this yellow one and release it. Just going to pull this back to the middle again. And so now I'm just going to repeat that same pattern over again. I'm going to be changing the color of my tree to red. So I'll just work from the outsides. And now I need to start a brand new cap band. So I'm just going to take a red and double that. Put it in the center here. And now I'll loop the top half. And then I'll start from the middle and do the bottom. And now before I release these 3 rubber bands from the center pins here, what I'm going to do is actually remove the brown bands first. And I'm only doing this to prevent this brown band to slide all the way up here. So on this step, I just find it easier if I release the brown bands first, and that way these red bands are preventing it from sliding all the way over. And now I'm going to remove the center 3. So really you could do it either way, but I like to do it that way to keep the tree more in the center, because what I'm going to show you here is you want this brown band to be on either side of that cap band that we just released. So I'll stretch it out so you can see. Here's the cap band in the middle, and it's important that you have 2 of the brown bands on one side and 2 on the other. So when we do the next layer and we pull this cap band back on, that the tree stays in the middle. If you had it slid to one side, it's not going to have your bracelet look even with that tree in the very center. So I'll just keep it like that, and I'll start my next layer. Push this down. And now I need this cap band to slide back on. Again, I'm making sure that the brown bands are on either side there. And I want to find the center of this cap band. You can see how this is. I want to make sure I'm taking this inside part, this left part, and getting those 2 bands to slide back on. And now I can loop. Now I'm going to remove these rubber bands from the center, and I also have the 2 bottom bands on either side here. I'm going to push that down. So you can see that it's starting to grow here out the front here, or the right side. Now I have my next set of red to do. Now I want this cap band to move back into the middle, so taking the 2 bands closest to the loom and sliding them back on. You can see this one came off when I did that, but that's not a big deal. I'm going to be taking off in a second anyway. And now loop the bottom 2. Push this down. Now I'm going to put the gold band on, stretching all the way from the bottom to the top here, going around the right hand side of the middle pins. And now I can remove the 2 red. Now I'm taking 2 brown, putting them both at once here, stretching them all the way up. Can take off this yellow. Looks like I did the same thing again here. The brown needs to be above. Now I can remove that yellow. Get it back into the middle here. And now I want to start my next color, which is white. So I will just continue on in this same pattern, and when the bracelet gets long enough, I will show you how to remove it from the loom. When you have your bracelet to the length that you'd like it and you're ready to remove it from the loom, you should have a yellow band on the top, and it should be connected to 2 pins. So I'm just going to take my hook and pick up the bottom. I'm going to use my thumb to hold this on, and I'm going to go to the top pin here and grab hold of that. Now I can remove that from the loom. And I'm going to take a clip. I have an S clip here. It's going to hook it through these 2 yellow bands if I stop dropping it here. And now on the other side, on this bottom tree, I'm going to just reach my hook through this cap band. I'm going to take my last 2 brown bands, grab them both at once, and link them through. Get the other 2 bands back on my finger, so I have 4 bands here. And if you want, you can attach all 4 bands through the clip, but it would be pretty full. So what I'm going to do is take 2 and slide them through the other 2, so that way I only have 2 bands on my hook. And I'm just going to attach it to the other side of the clip here. And then here you have your bracelet. So if you want, you can do a little bit of adjusting if it looks like you need to spread the tree out at all. But I think it turns out really cute, and it would be nice for the holidays. And if you wanted to wear it any other time, you could just use different shades of green like I did for this bracelet, and that way it's not just for Christmas. I hope that everyone likes their evergreen / Christmas tree bracelets. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!